Alrighty guys, well welcome back to Three Balls and a Puck. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be covering the Western Conference predictions. Well, at least I am. I am going to just start with the teams that I think are going to make the playoffs. So let's start with the Pacific Division. So I'm just going to put the four teams I think that are going to make it. Winning the division, I don't want to make any predictions and stuff like that. Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Three Balls and a Puck. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be covering the Western Conference predictions. Now, these are just the teams that are going to make the playoffs. I don't want to talk about who's going to win the division and such things like that because so much can change. But I'm going to start with the Pacific, and these are the teams I think that are going to win it. Anaheim. Now, the reason why I think Anaheim or the Ducks is because their defense is very good. Their blue line depth is very good, and I think that's going to carry them. And then Getzlaf, obviously, hopefully doesn't have the same injury if you're a Ducks fan, and we'll go from there. Los Angeles Kings. I'm worried about their scoring, but I think if Jonathan Quick plays the way he has played, especially the way he played last year, I think they could find their way in. And then Anze Kopitar, obviously one of the best two-way players in the league, and we'll see what they get out of Kovalchuk. But yeah, so the Los Angeles Kings. Now, in my opinion, the best team in the division, San Jose Sharks. Hopefully Evander Kane, if you're a Sharks fan, plays the way he did when you added him last year via trade. Now you re-signed him. Let's see what happens there. Martin Jones has proven to be a solid goaltender. And then, yeah, you locked up Logan Couture. You got Pavelski, so we'll see what happens there. Okay, now the last team here, and I know maybe someone's might get upset here, but I'm going to go with Vegas. The Vegas Golden Knights, obviously bringing in Paul Stastny is going to be a huge help. They did lose James Neal, but I think they're going to fall back. Now, I don't know where these teams finish up. I see them in the playoffs. I don't see them winning the division. I think San Jose is going to win it if I had to make a prediction right now, just because I don't see Carlson having that many points again. It was a breakout year, but they kind of surprised some people. Still worried about Riley Smith's consistency. He had one good year in Florida, then he had a bad year. Then now he goes over here, he has a good year. Let's see. But he seemed to show up in the playoffs. So, the team I have on the bubble, Calgary. I don't know if they've done enough. And the problem is that these four teams that made it haven't really done anything necessarily to fall off, right? Especially Vegas, they might have improved losing James Neal and adding Stastny. But yeah, them having Kopitar, them having Getzlaf, San Jose having Pavelski. I mean, those teams are pretty good. Calgary, they got a lot of talent down there, but it's going to be tough to get in. Maybe 5 teams make the division. But anyways, let's move on to the next division. I'm going to move on to the Central Division. Let's put Central over here. Okay, now in the Central, I'm going to go with the Winnipeg Jets. I feel like if Connor Hellebuck played well, that team makes the Stanley Cup. He fell off in the postseason a little bit, so that's where I'm going to have Winnipeg. Now, one thing with Winnipeg is we know that they have a lot of depth. I worry about Blake Wheeler in his age if he'll be able to repeat what he did last year. We'll see. But we'll put Nashville. And once again, these are in no particular order. Like I said, if I had to make a prediction of the teams I think that are going to win the division, I'd say Winnipeg and San Jose. But everyone else is kind of just in there. The guy who I think may win the Hart Trophy is, for the next team, I'm going to go with the Colorado Avalanche. Obviously referring to Nathan MacKinnon. Yeah, I worry about their goaltending at times, and they had a lot of injuries, but they pushed Nashville in the postseason. They kind of had that. They did the kind of the same thing as the Florida Panthers did. Is they kind of had that fall off season. Everybody forgot about them. Difference is they got in the playoffs. They had less points, but they still got in. And then the team who made all the free agent acquisitions, the St. Louis Blues. And I guess if you're a Blues fan, you better hope you get in with all the moves you made. The one that I liked the most was the Ryan O'Reilly. I just love the guy on Buffalo. He's such a gritty, hard-working, he doesn't have the most speed, doesn't have the the nicest shot, but he just produces because he's always in the right place. Kind of reminds me of I can't even think of his name. Joel Ward, just obviously better than Joel Ward, but just how he always seems to be in the right place at the right time. That's O'Reilly. So we'll see if that pushes him over. Teams that I think are right there in the bubble, probably should have maybe made this line up a little more so it's not confusing. A team that I think is on the bubble and maybe makes it in, depending on if a division allows 5 people in. Oh, man. I'm going to go with the Dallas Stars, just because Dallas has the talent. But can they get, can they get the goaltending to actually show up, with Ben Bishop over there? Obviously, Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, great talented, cats over there. I think they were kind of surprised Cody Eakin losing him and going over to Vegas. Kind of hurt them a lot, but we'll see. Now, some teams that I think that they're not ready to get in or they're just going to miss, in my prediction. If I had to say in the Pacific, I'm going to go with Edmonton. And this has got to be frustrating. Obviously, losing Sekera, however you say his last name, I don't know what his where he even comes from, so I don't know how they enunciate that or pronounce that. So I think losing him at the blue line there, already kind of have a makeshift blue line as it is. We'll see. I think Cam Talbot, the goaltender, comes back, bounces back, but I feel like this is a team that might be like Dallas. They're right there at the end, and then they just drop 3 or 4, or 2 or 3, whatever it may be, and they don't get in. Now over here in the Central, if I had to see a team that's kind of, these are the bubble teams, I guess I can say. And these are just teams that, I don't know, I'll just put a question mark. We don't know what the hell we're going to get out of them. I'm going to go with Chicago. Oh, this is going to be hard. Chicago, of course it has to be really long too. Chicago Blackhawks. Obviously, Jonathan Taves, if you looked at NHL.com or a lot of the other, Hockey News and all the other, outlets out there, were very hard on Jonathan Taves, which it was well deserved. He had a very porous year in Jonathan Taves standards. So if he is to bounce back and have a great year with Patrick Kane, we'll see. Corey Crawford's getting up there in age, so what are they going to do inside the net? Can he play? Can he get back to where he was? Chicago can be a team. I mean, we watched them go from a number 1 seed, lose to Nashville, a year and a half ago, to just completely a dumpster fire and not even able to get in there. So which team is the real Chicago? I think it's somewhere in between, which is why I see them right here in that lower part. But yeah, that's my Western Conference predictions. I know we're still a ways away from the season and Hockey News has been dry. I'm trying to find reasons to talk about hockey because I absolutely love the sport. I'll try to get my Eastern Conference predictions done. I guess, shortly if I could. But yeah, that's your Pacific, that's your Central. These are the teams I think have the best chances of doing it. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you disliked it, feel free to hit the dislike button. If you want to subscribe for more content like this, then please do. And please let me know if you stumbled across this video, where the hell I'm right and where the hell I'm wrong, or if I'm spot on. I'm sure the fun thing about this is I'll look back at the end of the year and I'll go, dear Lord, there will be one team that comes out of nowhere. Maybe Arizona or something. We'll see. But yeah, I've been Brad, you've been great, and this has been another episode of 3 Balls and a Puck. Thank you very much.